put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Tuesday, 3rd December 2024, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. We are so sorry we couldn't come to you yesterday. Of course, as you are aware, we had some limitations that were beyond our control. So unfortunately, we could not air the morning show, but we're so happy to be here this morning, and we're so happy that you stood around and that you are still here with us, that you still chose us as your #1 choice for morning show here in Tobago. So we thank you so very much. There is so much to discuss. I mean, it's the most wonderful time of the year. So welcome to December. Welcome to the time where all the festivities take place, where we have so much fun, where we engage with each other, we sing songs, we carol, we exchange gifts, and we just share the love of Jesus Christ, who is our Lord and our Savior. Let us remember that He is the reason for the season. We do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire programming this morning. And as you stay with us, of course, we're going to go through the paces this morning as we discuss many things concerning, what else? Christmas, of course. So you have to be with us. But before we get into all of those conversations, we're going to head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. In November 2024, Tobago recorded its second murder-free month, reflecting a notable decline in crime following a challenging earlier year with 25 murders. Reductions in shootings and gang violence have been attributed to targeted police action, including dismantling drug blocks, enhanced patrols, and strengthening community collaboration. Senior Superintendent Earl Eli highlighted successes in recovering illegal firearms and the activation of the E99 direct line for emergencies. Meanwhile, Tobago Business Chamber President Martin George praised the progress but called for greater transparency on police strategies and updates on resolved cases. Up next, the People's National Movement supporters criticized Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's decision to accept a significant pay hike recommended by the Salary Review Commission for top public officials. Speaking outside Balizé House yesterday during candidate screening for the upcoming general election, supporters questioned the fairness of offering public servants only 4% increase while approving raises up to 47% for senior officials. This backlash follows Oil Workers Trade Union President Ansel Roger accusing PNM supporters for hypocrisy for not opposing the SRCC's recommendation. And finally, Attorney Karim Marcel has been announced as the People's National Movement candidate for Laventille West in the upcoming general elections. Celebrations erupted as supporters cheered his victory. Marcel pledged to prioritize fostering peace and unity in Laventille, a community impacted by crime, and to inspire young people to overcome challenges and achieve their potential. He thanked the screening committee and constituency executive for their support, acknowledging outgoing MP Fitzgerald Hines' 30 years of service, and vowed to seek his guidance while building on his legacy as he prepares to represent Laventille West in Parliament. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Bianna, for our news there in 90 seconds. And of course, condolences goes out to the latest road fatality here on the island of Tobago. And you know, in this festive season, you know, I just want to implore people to ensure when you're using the nation's roads to drive safely, carefully. And you know, unfortunately, just last night, I was driving, heading east. And there was a guy driving a 4x4, and he overtook 5 vehicles on a short stretch. And I honestly, it really caused me to sit back and think, what is the rush? What is the rush? And it was late evening yesterday. What is the rush at that time of night?
Yeah.
You know, any time of day, we just need to be careful and mindful that there are other road users and that we need to be safe.
Yes.
And engage in proper road use. We sit on this station and we talk even to TTPS.
Yes.
When they come. Just last week, we were talking about road safety and how to use the roads. So we just want to ensure that we have safe practices, especially around this time.
Yes.
But let's switch gears a little bit. Of course, we have to celebrate, you know,
Yes.
and we're talking about Marcus Daniel, our very own sports correspondent, Mr. Cricket, who is here on Fridays to bring you everything sports. Guess what? Marcus was elected first vice president
Yes.
of Tobago Cricket Association.
Yes, yes.
So we want to say a
Congratulations
hearty congratulations to you, Marcus, from all of us here, your family here at the Tobago Updates Television.
Yes.
We are very proud of you. And you know, Marcus has this passion
Yes.
about sports in general, but when
Yes.
it comes to cricket, I don't think you could talk to Marcus because
the
he's
passion heightens.
that's right. He's on another level there, you know. So,
Yeah.
Marcus, many congratulations. We are proud of you and continue to do the work you're doing and represent the island of Tobago wherever you go.
Yeah.
Vienna, there's some more congratulations. We
Yes,
have two
there's
women
two
appointed as
ladies
well.
who were elected as directors of the National Association of Athletics Administration. That's Miss Kuki Melville and Miss Kelsey Toussaint Reed. Congratulations to them as well.
Yes, of course, you know, representing again in the sports
Yes.
field. And those two names are no strangers, you
No
know, in the
strangers.
field at all. They work very hard, very diligently. And, you know, to have that measure of influence and impact there now at that level.
Yes.
Many congratulations. Of course, we are proud of you and we do hope that you succeed in that position as well.
Yes.
Tobago Sports Day, Tobago Day, Sports and Family Day.
Yes.
Sunday. Did you see the
Saturday.
march? Saturday, yes,
Yes,
Saturday.
the dance
It's the way
pass.
I'm thinking because we didn't have the show yesterday, you know, I'm thinking. But the dance pass, you saw the creativity that
Yes,
came out from
yes.
the different departments?
Yes, it was really nice.
It's always something to wonder and to see, wow, you know, you give them a theme or a topic and, you know, their
choose.
interpretation of it is always something to marvel at. Tobago is full of talent. And I want to say congratulations to OCS,
Yes.
you know, for capping the crown there where that is concerned. So
Yeah, I
congratulations.
also like the presentation done by I think it was finance. Their presentation was really
Yes.
nice as well.
Yeah, you know, so I want to say congratulations to all the departments, everybody who came out, all the supporters.
Yes.
You know, congratulations, and we look forward to great things. I mean, the year is turning over, so let's see you put yourself to work now when you get back to your office spaces come January morning. In fact, from now, let's see, you know, action taking place in the offices as well.
Yes.
Well, Biana, you know, of course, it's that time of the morning, and there we have some footage there. We have some footage of one of our departments. Which one is this?
I'm not sure but this is looking like
This looks like education,
Yes,
yeah.
the tech.
Yeah. You know, so they had a good time there at Buku. And, you know, in the past, education used to win every single dance pass, you know.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they have vibes there as well.
But a
you know,
change this year is good.
yes. But congratulations to all participants. And, of course, we look forward to great things as we continue to celebrate Tobago Day as we head into the Christmas season. Biana, thank you so much for being on set with us this morning. And we do hope that you have a wonderful day today.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. Right, and celebrating a birthday, I believe that birthday was yesterday. Davia Chambers celebrated her birthday yesterday, of course, and one of our colleagues in the media and communication industry. Davia, we want to say happy birthday to you, happy birthday season to you. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful birthday. So happy birthday to you. Laverne Simon, she also celebrated her birthday. I think it was on Sunday was her birthday. Happy birthday to you, Laverne Simon. Happy belated birthday. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you had a wonderful birthday. Tamara Beard is also celebrating a birthday, and we say happy birthday to you, Tamara, and we pray God's blessings upon your life. We do hope that this new chapter of your life brings new meaning to you. So happy birthday to you. My friend, Minister Johnny Batiste, he celebrated his birthday yesterday as well. And I want to say happy birthday to Minister Johnny. He's somebody who I'm very, very, very fond of, and I will always poke jokes at him. But I want to say happy birthday to you. I pray God's blessings upon your life and all the very, very best to you. Happy birthday, Minister Johnny. This is a twin sending birthday greetings to twins Adrian and Adriana Phillips from their loving mom Natoya King and the rest of the family. They celebrated on the 28th of November. Happy belated birthday to you, young twin. We pray God's blessings upon your life. We pray favor upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday season. Denisha Manning is also celebrating a birthday, and we want to say happy birthday to you, Denisha. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday season, coming to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television. Laverne Simon, we have two photos of her, so we're going to say happy birthday again, Laverne. Yes, a special lady. Happy belated birthday to you, Laverne, from all of us here at the Tobago Updates Television family. And finally, belated birthday greetings go out to Crystal Celestine. She also celebrated on Sunday, the 1st of December, and we want to say happy belated birthday to you as well. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday season. And of course, if you are celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, a promotion, retirement, whatever you're celebrating, we join in the celebration with you, and we remind you to put God first. Give God thanks for life, for without Him there is nothing worth celebrating. Right, so you might be wondering, who are we speaking with in studio this morning? But before we get to who we are speaking with, guess what? It's Christmas time. Yes, so look out for something new from the Tobago Updates Television family. We are going to be launching something wonderful around this Christmas season for you. So we do hope that you stay tuned. You have to look at the morning show every single weekday to get more information. And I'm telling you, it's going to be lots of fun. We have so many stakeholders on board who are going to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful journey. And you just might be able to win something in this Yuletide season. This morning, we start our conversation off by speaking with Mr. Vern Joseph. He's the chairman of the Tobago Gospel Promoters, and we're talking about Christmas Village, everything Christmas. Yes, you want to hear about that, get all the information there where that is concerned. And then we speak with Miss Leanne Smart-Guerra, acting registrar, and Mia Prasad Douglas, acting quality manager, as we speak to the THTI Christmas Village. I told you it's a Christmas program this morning. So we're talking about all the Christmas villages here on the island of Tobago. And I tell you what, they all have something for everybody. So don't feel threatened that we have about 20. Trust me, they're all different and unique in their own special way. So stay with us to get all the information as we go through the paces this morning. We do hope that you could continue viewing with us, whether you are viewing right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, perhaps England, whether you are in Europe, in other parts of Europe, in Africa, Asia, Australia, wherever you are, continue to view with us. And as you continue to view, help us to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Get ready, Tobago! Tobago Day 2024 is quickly approaching. Celebrate with us. Here's the schedule of activities. November 22nd and 23rd, Tobago Day launch and motorcade. November 16th to December 8th, Battle of the Cards. November 29th, Interdivision Triathlon 5 a.m. at Buku Integrated Facility. November 30th, THA Sports and Family Day, 6 p.m., Buku Integrated Facility. Celebrate with us on December 1st at the Chocolate and Mud Juve, 5 a.m. to 12 noon at Lure Coco Estate in Goldsboro. On December 4th, we give thanks with a Thanksgiving service from 9 a.m. at Lambo Church of God. 6:30 p.m. Tobago Day Awards. December 5th, Youth Plenary at 1:30 p.m. at the Assembly Legislature. December 6th, Chief Secretary's Art Competition and Prize Giving Ceremony. December 14th, Tobago Fashion First, Opulence Enhanced, 6:30 p.m., Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resorts. Tobago Day, push for progress, 44 in 24. Please
be advised that the date and venue for the Tobago Day Thanksgiving service have been changed to Thursday, December 19th at the Shaw Park Complex. Start time 9 a.m. Come give thanks with us as we continue our Tobago Day celebration.
It's the season of unforgettable, magical moments together. A song that reminds us of how our love blossomed. The warm, comforting smell of Christmas Day that brings us together. That feeling of comfort when our loved ones see the magic happening before their eyes. This Christmas, believe in magic, only at Standard.
Unwrap the magic of Christmas and have the best Christmas ever with a Christmas Wishes loan from Bethel Credit Union.
Up to $20,000 can be yours, so you can take care of all those Christmas expenses. You could even pay off all your debts and your credit card.
Come on down to where we make wishes come through, because we see you
at BCU.
Visit any of our offices today at 31 Bethlehem Road, Bethel, Tobago, or Mount Mary Lower, Scarborough, Tobago.
You can contact us at 639-8226-660-7358 or 631-1336.
Normal lending criteria apply. Think, plan, save with Bethel Credit Union. Because we see you at BCU. We see you at BCU. Come on down, get a loan or two, cause we see you this Christmas at BCU.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Get ready for the most magical event of the season. The Tobago Gospel Promoters proudly presents Christmas Village. Christmas Village. Everything Christmas at the Scarborough Esplanade, Tobago. From the 18th to the 21st of December, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. daily. 4 nights of live entertainment. Los Cantantes de Jesus. And from Tobago, El Corazon de Parang, Blessed Messenger, Genex, Bijon Pier, choirs, steel bands, and dance from across Tobago, and our featured drama production. It's a Christmas production you don't want to miss. From toys to curtains, wines, ginger beer, cake, and a kid zone. 4 days of everything Christmas. For all interested vendors, please contact 392-4060. And for general information on Christmas Village, 786-8736.
We coming together, me and my family, meeting together, me and my family.
Me and my family meeting together. That's what we're talking about. It's Christmas Village, everything Christmas happening this December at the Esplanade. And this morning I speak with none other than Mr. Vern Joseph. He is the chairman of the Tobago Gospel Promoters, who is responsible for this wonderful, wonderful event. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adana. Good morning to your lovely listeners on this this platform. Yes, everything Christmas, we and my family, we're coming together.
That's right, that's right.
Yes.
And that's basically what Christmas is all about, right? And so we want to come together to this Christmas village. So tell us about, I know there are so many other Christmas villages, as I mentioned earlier, taking place on the island of Tobago, and we welcome them all because we want people to come together. It's a time of year where people remember, they reminisce on things that happened during the year, they look at their highs, their lows, and it's a time to give God thanks for all that He has done for us. So we want to talk about the Christmas village, everything Christmas, right, that's happening on the Esplanade. What was the genesis, the idea behind this particular Christmas village?
The idea behind this Christmas village is something we wanted to do for a while. And, you know, we have been looking around and we have seen a lot of events in Tobago. And we've seen there is nothing much for the the Christian community. So we decided and we went to the Chief Secretary with a proposal, and we discussed, and then he said, well, send me the proposal, and then I sent him the proposal, and then he said, yeah, this is something that we will support, 100%, and he gave us the go-ahead to go ahead and start to plan it, because the THTI is going to support this event. So I just get together, I say, instead of, me alone doing this thing, I pull, Joshua Powder is also involved. We said that we pull some, all the other gospel promoters in Tobago. Let me get together and do this as a body instead of an individual. Well, I have my promotional presence, and so, but we say, let we put that aside, let we come together and do something for Tobago, and we came up with this Christmas village thingy. So we own everything Christmas, we and we family, we coming together.
And what I like about this is the fact that you have decided to include other Christian promoters,
yes.
Other persons who are in the gospel industry, who have the networking ability, who have the skills, and who have the eye. Because as you said before, this event is tailored for the Christian family. I mean, all are invited.
Everybody.
All are invited, as far as I'm aware, but something that is Christian-centric is what this is. And so, bringing other people on board, and of course, having that brand already, that Dominion brand already, just bringing that, merging that together, and of course, giving other persons an opportunity to learn and to grow and to, so that for me, that is really, really beautiful. I love that part of it. So tell me let's talk about what can I expect when I come to the village?
The village is loaded, It's loaded with activities. There is going to be a kids zone, all kind of things that the kids like, face painting, bouncy castles, go-kart, name it. We having all of that. We having an area just for that. We having a food court area. We having a vending area where we could get all kind of Christmas things, everything Christmas, wines, punch and creme, curtains, Christmas decoration, everything Christmas, down to appliances,
that's right,
household items, you name it, it's going to be there. And plus we're getting some entertainment in the evening, plus we're getting a Christmas production. We're bringing back that Christmas vibes, that Christmas feeling to the Tobago space, when you come there, you say, yes, Christmas come again. You will hear your favorite Christmas carols, your Christmas songs, your Christmas parang. We're having a parang group. We're having a pan side. We're having choirs from different churches. I mean, we have from a number of denominations around Tobago representing in this event. Is not one set of people. We have the Catholics, the Adventists, the Moravians. Everybody is coming together to put on this great event. And there's also going to be a big tree lighting, which the Chief Secretary and the people on the esplanade, they are going to be doing an opening ceremony, and they will be lighting this huge tree. I think it is sponsored by, or the Tobago Business Chamber is involved in this one, and there's going to be this big tree lighting. We are going to have a beautiful entrance. We're going to have, the atmosphere. It's when you pass there, you're going to be say, wow.
And this is what I like, especially when you were talking about all the different denominations coming together. It's not a Pentecostal thing or an Adventist thing. It's a Christian thing. It's a people thing, where people come together to get this done. And talking about different stakeholders who are on board, I heard you mention THTI, of course, is a part of it.
Right.
And the Chamber of Commerce Tobago chapter is also involved. Tell us about some of the other sponsors who have come on board to, support this initiative.
Beside all the promoters, the gospel, because we are putting into it also financially into this thing. So it's not like we're depending on THTI and all of that. But all the other sponsors, all the other promoters like Glowfest, like Jesus Rally, like Purity, like Andy Wilson, all of these people are there, and they are putting, they're not just, being there to take, but they are giving back. We have the Republic Bank has come in and joined us. Matter of fact, they're having an event the day after, so they are collaborating with us, and they come on board as a sponsor to this event, and I'm telling you, the Esplanade is on board, the Tobago Festival, they are on board, and a number of people are just gyrating, and Tobago Update is being on board, and this thing is going to be streaming, live throughout the entire 3-4 days of this event. So, I mean, if you're in the hospital, is streaming is for those who can't make it. Those who in work, those who in, unfortunately have to be in the hospital or other way. But if you're not, we want you to come down. That's why we have different times. The village is open from 1 and we're going right up to 10. So when you're done work or during your lunchtime, you could come and see where you want. You could go back home, go and do your budget, see how much money I could spend for this thing, come back in the evening with your kids, take in the event, and then, it's just going to be a wonderful, joyous time.
Absolutely amazing. And I like the part you said about the budget because, us ladies, once we get there, it's all over. We're going to buy the curtains and the bedspreads and the decorations and the ham and everything that's there we're going to want to buy.
Yes, yes.
But, I really like the atmosphere already. I feel the excitement bubbling as you're speaking. And I know it's going to be awesome. I know that there's going to be that Christmas production there and some general guest artists would be coming as well for the performances, and I'm looking out for those to be there as well. And I want to say congratulations to the THA for giving you the approval to go ahead and do this, and all the persons who have come on board to ensure the success of this event. And I too am hyped up by these people, I must tell you. Christmas for me is the most wonderful time of the year, and I know sometimes it's difficult for some people, and so this is an opportunity to spread some love, to spread some joy. If even you're not coming to shop, just to be a part of the atmosphere, to engage with the entertainment, to lift your spirit. You never can tell what can happen when you come there. You could never tell when you come there at that village. So just come on out and be a part of it all. In closing, is there anything else you want to share with our viewers to encourage them to come out to this village to be a part of what is happening?
Yes, some of the artists that we have like Bijon Pierre is going to be here. And the thing is that the production is including all these artists in it. So it's not like you coming on and one coming off. There are different parts of the production where there's song involved in the production. We have someone playing the grudge, and we have some good actors here. You all come all over sitting. You come all over sitting. And we have Blessed Messenger is going to be with us. We have a parang group from Trinidad is going to be, and we have our own local parang group that we have discovered that is going to be there. I'll say we have choirs from different churches, the Adventists, the Moravians, the Victory Outreach, people from all different churches coming together to make this event, very, very interesting.
And of course, it's taking place at the Esplanade. Remind us of the dates that is taking place. And it's from 1 to 6, but what dates are they coming to the Esplanade?
From the 18th to the 21st. It's 4 days, including the Republic Day. We have incorporated them into this, so it's 4 days now. So you get that extra bonus day. On that day, Republic is going to take over, and they're going to do what they customary or normally do. So it's on the 18th to the 21st of December. It's at the Esplanade. We are starting at 1 p.m. and we are ending around 10 p.m. nightly.
Absolutely amazing stuff, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for something to do around this Christmas period, the best time of the year, of course, come on down to the Esplanade from the 18th to the 21st for the Christmas Village. Everything Christmas by the Tobago Gospel Promoters. Amen. Of course, with all sponsors on board, joining together at this Yuletide season to spread joy and love to one and all. We've been speaking with the chairman of the Tobago Gospel Promoters, Mr. Vern Joseph, bringing that information to us, and you can stay tuned to the Tobago Updates Television to get more information where that is concerned. In the meantime, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio, and as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you thinking about spending Christmas in Tobago? Well, call us at Thorns Place. We are located at the hills of Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port, with rooms starting at 200 TT. Call us now at 745-7306 or 682-8676. Follow us on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Message us on WhatsApp at Thorns Place. Your Christmas in Tobago will be even more special.
The future of farming is here. The Tobago Agri-Tech Summit 2024 is happening December 1st to 3rd at the Shaw Park Complex. With climate change reshaping our agriculture, it's time to adapt. Discover the latest in farming and fishing technology, sustainable practices, and innovative solutions. Get inspired by industry leaders, cutting-edge tools, and hands-on experiences. Tickets and more info at tags.gov.tt or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Tobago Agri-Tech.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. I am Adana Kambi, and we continue conversations in studio this morning. We speak with Ms. Leanne Smart-Guerra, Acting Registrar, and Mia Prasad Douglas, Acting Quality Manager at the THTI, and we're talking about THTI Christmas Village. Of course, I told you it's Christmas time, so we're going to be talking about all things Christmas throughout this month of December. So you want to stay with us as we have these conversations. Ladies, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Right, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yes, it is.
And we're here to spread joy, right? And so we're talking about THTI's Christmas Village taking place. So let's get into it. When is this Christmas Village? I know usually THTI has some really, really good events there, and so of course it's something to look forward to. So let's get into the conversation as to when this is going to take place, where it is going to take place, how do I get there, what do I have to wear, all the things that I need to know to come to this Christmas Village.
All right then, so the Christmas Village scheduled to start on the 15th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon until about 9, and 15th and 16th, right? Starting the same time from 1 p.m. Right, so we'll have like a shuttle service for those who are coming from town. Right, we'll have a shuttle service to take persons up to the campus in Bremen. So most people don't know sometimes we're so surprised to see some people don't know where Tobago Hospitality and Tourism is located. So it's in Blemming in Mountain George. It's a beautiful campus up on the hill, you know. It's like a gem tucked away.
Right.
Right. So we have the shuttle service for persons who are interested in coming up to a Christmas village.
Is there a fee attached to the shuttle? Do you have to pay to come up using the shuttle from Scarborough?
No.
Entry's free.
No.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing, because you know sometimes people use things like I have no transportation to get there, and so now you provide this opportunity for them to get there. And what kind of vendors or what types of activities would be taking place there at the Christmas village when we get there?
So we have, it's a family-friendly event, right? So one of the things that we want to do is to have as many vendors as possible. You know, Christmas, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, Christmas is about the food. So all your black cake and your ham and your punch of crème, your pastels, all of those things will be available, both prepared on site and available for sale on site, as well as for order. THTI also has our own fundraising initiative, and so persons who are ordering can pick up on the day as well. So our local vendors, we are encouraging them all to come out. We want to have a really good selection of our micro and small businesses. A lot of them do food, body care, you know, all these unusual gifts. So skip the mall this year and come out to the village and see what's available. We are also partnered this year with Radio Tambrin for their Christmas sweet baking competition. So the competition is all things Christmas, you know, the punch of crème, the black cake, the pastels, and we are giving it a little twist this year. You know, THTI, we must do something a little different around the food. So we have the traditional categories, but then we also have an innovation category. So your punch of crème will have the regular punch, your traditional, I mean, I'm not saying regular, but your traditional punch of crème, and then we also have the innovation categories with different bases, and rather than using the egg base. So persons who do dasheen and who do a whole pumpkin and a whole lot of other things. Yeah.
You mean to replace the egg with these things?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So the base is different. So there's a lot of innovation taking place, and we really want to showcase and highlight that and give persons who do these products the opportunity to shine and put their products out there. Yeah, and we do the same for the black cake. Again, you can do different types of flours instead of the regular wheat flour, you know, because a lot of people are gluten intolerant and diabetic, and the wheat flour doesn't always do so well with some people. So we have a lot of different things happening in the space that we want to showcase and highlight. So we have different categories for the competition, and then we have all the vendors, and then I'll let Mrs. Segura talk about the kids zone that we're having.
All right, so you know, we have to do something for the children. I love children, so we're having face painting, bouncy castle, because I'm a big kid, you know. Yeah, so we're having these other things, treasure hunt. There's times to be setting the different toys or gifts or secrets or whatever, and they have to go and search for these things. So we have little activities, you know, that will involve children.
And you know, that is something that is really needed for each event, because I mean, at a Christmas village, mommy and dad, well, mommy mostly wants to shop.
Yes.
And you know, you carry the children with you, and they're bored half the time because they're thinking, I don't want to buy punch cream, I don't want to buy cake.
And then you're trying to look at the people stuff, and they're pulling you in the other direction. Mommy, I'm tired. Mommy, I want to go home. So we have things for the children as well to keep them occupied and safe and busy while you shop.
I always welcome that, because I mean, Christmas for me is about the children. You know, I like to see children happy. In fact, one of my favorite things is to hear a child laughing. Trivia, fun fact about me. You know, I love to hear children laughing. It makes me feel so good. You know, and so, you know, I welcome that space that has been created for the children. In terms of features, maybe is there going to be any entertainment, or what else can we expect at the village?
All right, so we'll have this a parang band. What's the name of the parang band? I can't remember. He just keeps slipping me all the time.
Chorus on the parang.
Right.
And then we also have Radio Tambrin. So their characters will be there. As I said, they're partners for the event. So they're doing the Christmas concert. We have a number of entertainers, not just the parang, but music amateurs. Binley B. Yes. So Soca Party, all the different Christmas genres, there's something for everyone. And we'll be there into the evening. We are, the decor, all of those things.
And we also having a light up.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Right. And around what time is that special feature that lights up?
I'm all around what, half 6?
Yeah.
But as it started to get dark.
Because it gets dark early these days, huh? So early.
Oh, that's the other thing about Christmas, the lights. When you see those lights, you just feel so cozy and homey and comfortable, when you see those lights. So, I wish that people would come out. It's taking place on the 15th and 16th of December from 1 p.m. there at the THTI. And of course, transportation is being provided. So there are no excuses if you want to go. Free of charge. Where is the shuttle picking up from? Gardenside Street. From around what time would they be ready to pick up?
From about 12.
From about 12, so you can get there and in time to come up and enjoy and to be a part of everything that's happening up there at the THTI. As I said, Christmas time is the most wonderful time of the year. Even if you're not shopping, let's say for instance your budget doesn't allow. Come and enjoy the atmosphere. You might learn something. You might be able to place an order, perhaps, for some of the produce that's there, the cakes and the punch of cream. You might be able to see something that you didn't even know existed in the Tobago space, perhaps. Or just bring the children, bring the children and come enjoy. As you said, you're partnering with Radio Tambourine, so they too will have their thing going on there. So be a part of it. Christmas is a time for everybody.
That's right.
It's a time for everybody to enjoy. So I do hope that people come out and enjoy what you have prepared for them, and that they have a good time, remember the things that are good, because there's so many things that happened during this year. And so we use this time to focus on what is good and what we have to enjoy at this point in time. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers before we close?
Just to come up and enjoy what we have to offer. For those persons who are interested in being a vendor, the flyer that is up on the website, just scan the QR code and it will take you to the form where you could register if you want to be a vendor.
Also for the competitors as well, there's a link. There's a link on the flyer for them to register as well. So all of you who have the wonderful punch of creme and the black cake and make the best Christmas cocktail and do the best pastel, please join us and showcase what you have to offer.
Absolutely amazing stuff. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming this morning and just brightening up the atmosphere with the Christmas talks this morning. Thank you so much for your brilliant smiles, your bright clothing. It's just so wonderful, to have you here this morning talking about Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year where I am going to get really, really excited every day on this show. So be prepared. It's gonna happen. Yeah, we're in that season, of course, and we want you to spread the love as well with all your family, friends and loved ones near and far. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
This Christmas, believe in magic. Enjoy our comforting deals on furniture that'll leave your loved ones in awe. Only at Standard. This Christmas, believe in magic. Enjoy our delicious deals on appliances for the perfect Christmas together. Only at Standard.
Get ready, Tobago! Tobago Day 2024 is quickly approaching. Celebrate with us. Here's the schedule of activities. November 22nd and 23rd, Tobago Day launch and motorcade. November 16th to December 8th, Battle of the Cards. November 29th, Interdivision Triathlon 5 a.m. at Buku Integrated Facility. November 30th, THA Sports and Family Day, 6 p.m., Buku Integrated Facility. Celebrate with us on December 1st at the Chocolate and Mud Juve, 5 a.m. to 12 noon at Lure Coco Estate in Goldsboro. On December 4th, we give thanks with a Thanksgiving service from 9 a.m. at Lambo Church of God. 6:30 p.m. Tobago Day Awards. December 5th, Youth Plenary at 1:30 p.m. at the Assembly Legislature. December 6th, Chief Secretary's Art Competition and Prize Giving Ceremony. December 14th, Tobago Fashion First, Opulence Enhanced, 6:30 p.m., Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resorts. Tobago Day, push for progress, 44 in 24.
Please be advised that the date and venue for the Tobago Day Thanksgiving service have been changed to Thursday, December 19th at the Shaw Park Complex. Start time 9 a.m. Come give thanks with us as we continue our Tobago Day celebration.
It's the season of unforgettable, magical moments together. A song that reminds us of how our love blossomed.
Unwrap the magic of Christmas and have the best Christmas ever with a Christmas Wishes loan from Bethel Credit Union.
Up to 20,000 can be yours, so you can take care of all those Christmas expenses. You could even pay off all your debts and your credit card.
Come on down to where we make wishes come through, because we see you
at BCU.
Visit any of our offices today at 31 Bethlehem Road, Bethel, Tobago, or Mount Mary, Lower Scarborough, Tobago.
You can contact us at 639-8226-660-7358 or 631-1336.
Normal lending criteria apply. Think, plan, save with Bethel Credit Union.
Because we see you at BCU. We see you at BCU. Come on down, get a loan or two, cause we see you this Christmas at BCU.
Are you thinking about spending Christmas in Tobago? Well, call us at Thorns Place. We are located at the hills of Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port, with rooms starting at 200 TT. Call us now at 745-7306 or 682-8676. Follow us on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Message us on WhatsApp at Thorns Place. Your Christmas in Tobago will be even more special.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With Amplia TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with Amplia's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With Amplia, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. Amplia. Do more, live more.
Guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago, so it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
The future of farming is here. The Tobago Agri-Tech Summit 2024 is happening December 1st to 3rd at the Shore Park Complex. With climate change reshaping our agriculture, it's time to adapt. Discover the latest in farming and fishing technologies, sustainable practices, and innovative solutions. Get inspired by industry leaders, cutting-edge tools, and hands-on experiences. Tickets and more info at tags.gov.tt or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Tobago Agri-Tech.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We're just at 7:53 a.m. So if you're getting to work for 8, you have about 7 minutes to get there. And if you're not there yet, remember to take your time on the nation's roads. You want to drive safely, get to work safely. And if your children are going to school this morning, also to get them there safely as well. It's the most wonderful time of the year. We're in the festive season and a lot of things are happening here on the island of Tobago. A lot of activities, a lot of festivities. People have already started preparing their homes and their spaces and their gardens and their kitchens and everywhere for the Christmas celebrations here on the island of Tobago. And of course, we do things differently in each country. Every country has a specific tradition in the way they do things. And of course, Tobago Update is not going to get left behind. We are, of course, going to be showcasing some of the Tobago traditions that we have upheld, some that we have lost, and some that we want to bring back during the Christmas season. And of course, we are going to start it off this coming Friday. So you want to stay tuned to the morning show each weekday to get more information about our Christmas production, which is going to be taking place, which is going to be airing on Fridays. Yes. So let me tell you a little bit about this. It's called The Night Before Christmas, a Tobago Christmas. Yes, and we're launching on Friday, this Friday, the 6th. Yes, that's right, Friday, 6th of December, right here on Tobago Updates Television, and you want to be a part of it. Now, listen, you can feel free to call in. You can feel free to leave comments on our live stream about your preparations, the things that you do, your traditions, the things you look forward to the most, the things that you miss. And yes, this is one of the things we're going to be highlighting. We're going to be going through different communities and seeing what people are doing, highlighting and showcasing the traditional Tobago Christmas. Yes, so if you want to be a part of this show, if your village or your community does something special for Christmas, of course, you can contact us and give us the information. You can leave your messages on our live stream. You can also WhatsApp us to give us your information to be a part of this show. And guess what? We have a lot of different stakeholders and sponsors on board who are going to be sharing in this moment with us. So perhaps we might be eating some fruit cake, maybe a piece of pone, some punch or creme, perhaps, or homemade wine. Are you a service provider of any of these items? Let us know. Additionally, you can participate in a competition that can afford you a prize from one of our main sponsors. Yes, we have sponsors on board who are willing to give prizes to those who are viewing and participating in our Christmas traditions here on Tobago Updates Television. On Friday, you will be getting more information as to when the show, the rollout of the show. So you have to look at the morning show on Friday morning to get all the details where that is concerned, how you can participate in the competition, how you can participate in the call-in segment, how you can participate in everything that is happening here and possibly win a prize for your home, for yourself. You never can tell what you might win. Maybe we might have one of our sponsors on show to talk about what they are doing to be a part of this Tobago Christmas. It was the night before Christmas. The night before Christmas. How remarkable. Can you think of some things you do the night before Christmas? Hanging the curtain. Some people wait until the very stroke of midnight to put up their Christmas curtains, painting the steps, whatever you're doing. That's what we're going to be talking about here on set. We're going to be creating a Christmas vibe. We're going to be talking, as I said, going into communities to see what people are doing there. I might probably be trying to burst a bamboo. You never could tell. So you want to keep your eyes on this show as we roll out. It's going to be starting this Friday night, but you have to look at the morning show on Friday morning to see what is happening, get the information so you can be a part of it, and of course, enjoy and embrace all that is Christmas. My word of advice to you, or encouragement rather to you during this Christmas season: show love to your family, to your friends, to your neighbor, your classmates, your co-workers, somebody. There are people who might be struggling throughout this Christmas season. For some, it's a wonderful time, and for some, it can be a depressing time. It can be a time where they reflect on things that they have lost, things that they are missing in their lives. So let us be kind to one another. Let us show love to each other, and let us show up for those who have no one to show up for them. Right? If you are able to buy a small gift, just a small token for your neighbor's children, or if you are able to give them a piece of cake, somebody who doesn't have, let us share and give to others who are in need and who are unable to provide for themselves at this time. While we are having a good time, somebody might be crying, and you could be the one to help them wipe that tear away this Yuletide season. So spread some love. Another thing I want to recommend that you do is to give God thanks for all that you have. If you could sit down and just reflect on all the things that you have in your life right now, the very breath of air that you breathe is enough to give God thanks for. You know, the home that you live in is enough to give God thanks for. The friendships that you have, the people who show up for you, yes, you can give thanks for that as well. So remember to include him. The reason that we are having this season is because we celebrate his birth, though we don't know exactly when he was born, but this is the time we choose to celebrate his birth, and so we have to pay some attention to him as well. What is the point in having a party for someone and they're not included in the celebration? So let's bring him in as well. All right, thank you so much, viewers, for staying with us throughout the entire programming this morning. And of course, you have to stay tuned to get that information. For the entire month of December, we will be featuring something about Christmas because it's that time of the year. So you want to be a part of all that is happening. If you are able to make somebody smile, do it. You know, when you see somebody on the street, say Merry Christmas, you know, Happy Holidays, whatever you say, to bring in that Christmas spirit for somebody else who probably might be looking or feeling a little bit down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we end the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, but it is not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, and as we go, of course, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. A wonderful Christmas season to all.
we needed to do this. And by this, I mean recognize publicly the persons that not only participated in the 2024 edition of the Tobago Heritage Festival, but the persons who put their best feet forward, put their talent on display. This morning we are here to recognize the winners across the categories in the Tobago Heritage Festival Calypso Monarch competition, our folk fiesta, our Junior Miss Heritage competition, and to distribute checks to our community groups that participated.
Hi, I am Gavi Sandy. I participated in the Tobago Heritage Calypso Monarch and I am the winner, second time in a row. I'm very excited, not only about collecting the check, but collecting it at a faster time than last year. You know, that's something I really appreciate. They put in the effort to pay out the monies faster, and I truly appreciate that.
I am Leslie Ellis, mother of Gavi Sandy, and I placed in the Tobago Calypso Heritage Monarch, and I placed fourth, second time in a row. While I appreciate getting the money earlier than last year, I wish I had it for my birthday, which was in September.
We are grateful for the monies because, you know, we work very hard, and I mean, when you work hard, you must get paid. But apart from that, you know, we take pride in our culture. We do not do it for the money. We do it to keep the culture alive, to spread, you know, the information, you know, the knowledge. So that's and for the fun, we enjoy what we do.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
We're thrilled to announce the Tobago Agri-Innovation Summit 2024. This transformative event taking place from December 2nd to 3rd at the Shore Park Complex will focus on the theme Climate Change, Resilience and Adaptation in Agriculture. As the first of its kind on the island, the summit aims to position Tobago as a leader in agricultural innovation, addressing climate change challenges and showcasing agri-tech solutions that will shape how we grow our food, manage resources, and ensure our sustainable future.
The Tobago.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, guys. I am your host, Chanel Felix, and you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But you already know the drill when we come here this morning. You have a duty to share the live, share the live, share the live as you become a part of this morning's exciting and interesting conversations. Now, this morning we have quite a premium lineup, if I must say so myself. This morning we are expected to chat with Her Excellency, the British High Commissioner, as well as our MP for Tobago West. Now, this morning, those conversations are going to be quite interesting. But before we get into those interesting and exciting conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. In November 2024, Tobago recorded its second murder-free month, reflecting a notable decline in crime following a challenging early year with 25 murders. Reductions in shootings and gang violence have been attributed to targeted police actions, including dismantling drug blocks, enhanced patrols, and strengthened community collaborations. Senior Superintendent Earl Eli highlighted successes in recovering illegal firearms and the activation of an E99 direct line for emergencies. Meanwhile, Tobago Business Chamber President Martin George praised the progress but called for greater transparency on police strategies and updates on resolved cases. Additionally, People's National Movement supporters criticized Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's decision to accept a significant pay hike recommended by the Salary Review Commission for top public officials. Speaking outside Balizé House yesterday during candidates' screening for the upcoming general elections, supporters questioned the fairness of offering public servants only 4% while approving a raise of up to 47% for senior officials. The backlash follows Oilfield Workers Trade Union President Ansel Roger accusing PNM supporters of hypocrisy for not opposing the Salary Review Commission's recommendations. Additionally, Attorney Kareem Marcel has been announced as the People's National Movement candidate for Laventille West in the upcoming general elections. Celebrations erupted as supporters cheered his victory. Marcel pledged to prioritize fostering peace and unity in Laventille, a community impacted by crime, and to inspire young people to overcome challenges and achieve their potential. He thanked the screening committee and constituency executive for their support, acknowledged outgoing MP Fitzgerald Hines' 30 years of service, and vowed to seek his guidance while building on his legacy as he prepares to represent the Laventille West in Parliament. And that was our news in 90 seconds. And before we proceed, we just want to say congratulations to a fellow youth, Mr. Kareem Marcel. We look forward to all the good things that you do as the candidate for Laventille West. Now, this morning, as I indicated, we have such an interesting lineup. And to begin our conversations this morning, I have the privilege of chatting online with Her Excellency Harriet Cross, who is the British High Commissioner of Trinidad and Tobago. So we want to say good morning to Her Excellency and welcome to Tobago Updates.
Hi, good morning. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thanks for speaking to me today.
Excellent. Now, we know that you have spent some time in Tobago recently, and so we want to hear all about that and all about some of the work that the British High Commission has been doing that directly impacts Tobago development, and how persons can truly tap into the resources of the British High Commission in Port of Spain to maybe get some of their projects off the ground, or just to understand how that can be a bridge between Trinidad and Tobago and the UK, where exports and business expansion is concerned. So we want to start off by talking a bit about your visit to Tobago.
So, I mean, I've been in Trinidad and Tobago for over 4 years now. And one of my first early trips in 2020 was to Tobago. And I've come and gone over those 4 years on both a personal and professional basis. So my trips to Tobago are sometimes entirely pleasure and holiday, and sometimes they're a little bit of both. And actually this weekend, it was a little bit of both, because I was in Tobago just really to have one last weekend on the beach, and to sort of bid farewell to Tobago. And my friend that I was staying with said, "Oh, let's go down. There's an event on at the multi facility in Canaan, Bon Accord." So we went down there and we found the UNDP Wheating caravan, which was super interesting. I learned loads of stuff. There was lots of really good messaging there about tackling violence in the family and violence against women, which I think are really important messages. And we ourselves have done some of that work in Tobago. So I was really happy to be able to hang out with the UN folk, but also some Tobagonians who were there talking about their own experiences and just bringing the community together. So that was my most recent engagement with Tobago. But we've done all sorts. I mean, just in the last year, we've run a couple of projects about supporting women and girls. So one was called Grow Smart, and it was about supporting women in the agriculture sector in Tobago, talking to them about how they can improve their businesses, giving them entrepreneurial skills. Now, that doesn't just help these women, but it also, of course, helps the broader community, and it helps the economy of Trinidad and Tobago, because we'd love to think that at some point the businesses would be big enough to export, therefore bringing Forex into the country. So even the smallest seeds of engagement in a community can have big effects, and that's what we do. And another example, we've done some really good work with Women of Substance, which is a Tobago-grown NGO. And they've also gone into schools and talked to boys and girls about appropriate behaviour, about tackling violent language and violent behaviour and that sort of thing. Talking to kids at that age is really, really important. So I'm also really proud of that work that we've done together in Tobago.
Right. And I know of some colleagues who have businesses and NGOs who are particularly focused on raising awareness for green initiatives and how persons can go green with their business, specifically in the era of climate change and where persons are becoming even more climate conscious. How can individuals with projects and ideas of this nature tap into some of the resources that the British High Commission has to raise awareness among youth as well as businesses for how they can build green and sustainable businesses?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways in which individuals and small organisations can engage with the British High Commission, particularly in this field of green energy and climate adaptation. It's an area that we're really interested in. So I would suggest if you've got an idea, and sometimes it's about asking for a small amount of money, but sometimes it's just about, can you provide a platform for us to have a conversation? Can you help bring together a group of people? So you can contact us through, for example, the UK and Caribbean is on social media, whether that's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. We're also on X, formerly known as Twitter, and you can get in touch with us that way. And we're really interested to hear about your projects and to see whether we can provide. Sometimes it's a bit of seed funding, sometimes it's bringing an expert out. So one good example, we were talking about what we would call a just transition, to make sure that people who've been involved in other industries don't get left behind when the green energy revolution, if you like, takes place in Trinidad and Tobago. So it's about reskilling people, and it's about providing that sort of education in schools about what sort of jobs are available in these industries. And we brought across some experts from the UK who had undergone that, because Scotland is an example of an oil and gas producing country that's done that transition to green energy. So we wanted to share some of our learning, share some of the mistakes that the UK made, and so that countries like Trinidad and Tobago can then make their own plans and their own decisions, but learning from the experience of others. So just having that expert input, which doesn't cost any money at all, can actually sometimes be really helpful as well.
Right. And just as a side note, as we move towards a more green economy or a more climate conscious way of doing business for long-term sustainability, how can you really encourage businesses to make that shift to being more energy sustainable or just being more environmentally friendly to their own benefit? Because a lot of persons are thinking, okay, so what is the benefit in it for me and my business if I shift towards a more eco-friendly approach to doing business?
Yeah, I think 9 times out of 10, any business, when they're looking long term, is going to see that it's in their economic and commercial interests to go green, to commit to being energy efficient, whatever that might be. So a good example of that is in the UK, we're now bringing in what's called a carbon border adjustment mechanism. It's called CBAM. And it means that the goods that we import into the UK essentially need to have a lower carbon emission tag against them. And it'll be more expensive to import goods into the UK. So if you're sitting in Tobago and you want to export to the UK, if your product is greener, if it produces fewer carbon emissions, then it's going to be cheaper for you to export your goods to the UK. And we're actually doing some training at the moment in Trinidad and Tobago about that process. It's not in place yet, but it's coming. So that's one example of where, in not just the UK, but around Europe, it's going to be more expensive to be a higher emitter of carbon. So that's one example. And I think another one is the world is changing. Trinidad and Tobago is going to have to change because of the impact of climate. So being energy efficient, maybe it's a choice right now, but at some point it's not going to be a choice, because energy becomes more expensive, or because the government takes a decision that actually it needs to now enforce some of these things that at the moment are voluntary. So if businesses can get ahead of the curve and be some of the first people to do these things, then they're going to find themselves having an advantage, I would say. One other thing I wanted to add is that in training, we have cheapening scholarships, where if you can go and do a master's degree in the UK, if you've got the ability to do that, you can apply for a scholarship. And we're really keen for people from Tobago to do that. Now, you can do any course that you want, and there are a whole lot of courses in the UK about greening your business, about environmental sustainability, about green energy. So I would encourage businesses, if you're looking to the future and you've got a 5 or 10 year plan, think about, can you send yourself or one of your employees to go and do a master's degree in the UK, funded by the UK through the Chevening scholarships, and get that expert input. That person will come back with all that knowledge and be able to be there at the centre of your business, really driving it forward because of the training that they've done in the UK.
Excellent. And not only from a micro level, but looking at it from a macro perspective, with the Tobago House of Assembly being involved. With this climate conscious conversation happening globally, does that position Tobago at a better place to receive international funding for development projects, when we can align a number of our initiatives with the sustainability agenda, specifically where it comes to energy efficiency?
I think it does give any country an advantage if they've got ideas themselves that they bring to the table, for particularly for multilateral investment banks. So I'm thinking now, as much as about the UK, I'm thinking about the IDB and the UN. If you can show, for example, in Tobago, I guess environmentally sustainable tourism is one good example. If you can come to the table and say, look, we've got a strategic plan and it runs over a number of years, and this is what we want to do, but we just don't have the funding for it, I think that's a lot more credible than turning up and saying, we just need some money to do something, and we're not sure what. So I think making those plans and developing those plans locally is a good way of showing your credibility to the international community when it comes to looking for funding, particularly for environmental projects.
I'm glad that you raised that, because I know of a number of projects that are happening here in Tobago where they are trying their best to include that sustainability aspect of it, whether it be sustainable building when it comes to affordable housing, as well as some of the community tourism initiatives where they're trying to put lighting in areas that previously did not have lighting, and trying to utilize the solar powered lights as opposed to the regular traditional utility lights that we're accustomed to. So projects of this nature, you are saying that, you know, if the Tobago House of Assembly can approach the British High Commission, you know, with a long-term sustainable strategy, that there are opportunities there for funding.
There are, yeah. I mean, I can't commit to saying there will be funding available, but several times a year we get the opportunity to bid into funds in the UK with ideas. So essentially what happens is that the money doesn't sit with us in the British High Commission, Port of Spain. We have to convince the fund owners in London that we've got good projects. And as I say, we've convinced them with the Grow Smart project, with the Women of Substance project, and with a whole range actually of green projects, but also equality projects, if you like. So whether that is about tackling gender-based violence or whether it's about broader equality issues. If we can show a good, strong project that's got local support, that makes a big difference. And that's when we are successful in getting that funding and bringing it back to the communities. So yeah, I would really encourage those conversations to happen throughout the year, because we don't want it to be last minute. We don't want to say, oh, the project deadline for this bid is in a week's time. You know, we want to have been talking to you 3 or 4 months before that about the sorts of projects that might work. So having those regular conversations are really important. I've got a project team, Andre Blackburn, Shinali Patel, Dana Sukdew. Those are the team that are responsible for these projects at the British High Commission, and they are regular visitors to Tobago. In fact, they went across to publicise the Chevening scholarships just a few months ago. So they're very, very willing to come over and have those conversations.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to those conversations happening very soon. We're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to be back as we continue our discussion right after this.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With Amplia TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with Amplia's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With Amplia, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. Amplia. Do more, live more.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
Get ready, Tobago! Tobago Day 2024 is quickly approaching. Celebrate with us. Here's the schedule of activities. November 22nd and 23rd, Tobago Day launch and motorcade. November 16th to December 8th, Battle of the Cards. November 29th, Interdivision Triathlon 5 a.m. at Buku Integrated Facility. November 30th, THA Sports and Family Day 6 p.m. Buku Integrated Facility. Celebrate with us on December 1st at the Chocolate and Mud Juve, 5 a.m. to 12 noon at Lure Coco Estate in Goldsboro. On December 4th, we give thanks with a Thanksgiving service from 9 a.m. at Lambo Church of God. 6:30 p.m. Tobago Day Awards. December 5th, Youth Plenary at 1:30 p.m. at the Assembly Legislature. December 6th, Chief Secretary's Art Competition and Prize Giving Ceremony. December 14th, Tobago Fashion First, Opulence Enhanced. 6:30 p.m. Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resorts. Tobago Day. Push for progress. 44 in 24.
Please be advised that the date and venue for the Tobago Day Thanksgiving service have been changed to Thursday, December 19th at the Shaw Park Complex. Start time 9 a.m. Come give thanks with us as we continue our Tobago Day celebration.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now, we have been having a quite interesting conversation with Her Excellency Harriet Cross, who is the British High Commissioner to Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning and welcome back. Now, we have chatted a bit about some sustainable initiatives and a bit about your time here in Tobago. But what are some of the priorities of the British High Commission, particularly targeted toward Tobago?
I think I'd have to say, I think our priorities probably are similar across Trinidad and Tobago, and we've talked about some of them. So growth, generating economic growth for Trinidad, for Tobago, for the Caribbean region, and for the UK is probably the starting point, I would say. So that's partly about commercial projects. It's about making sure our businesses can speak to each other, can understand how we import and export, but also whether there are any barriers. So we look at what are the barriers to British companies being able to do business in Trinidad and Tobago, and we have conversations with you about what barriers are you finding to be able to do business with the UK. So that's one important pillar. And we actually recently had a UK Caribbean Trade Forum in London, which coincided with the World Tourism Market event. So actually, I was really pleased to say that there were some representatives from Tobago at that event. And I'm really confident that the conversations that were happening during those 3 days will lead to some of those business-to-business connections, because that's a really, really important part of the bilateral relationship. So growth is I would say the foundation for a lot of what we do. And then equality, I would say next. So whether that is about violence, probably in the first instance, as I say, it's a problem in the UK as well as Trinidad and Tobago. But there are lots of ways in which we think we can support communities and individuals and survivors of domestic violence to really tackle these issues and to flourish. So that's another area. We're also interested in working on LGBT rights. We're doing some projects on media reporting and LGBT rights at the moment, which I think is a really important part of that equality piece more broadly. And then climate action, again, a really important part of how we engage with Trinidad and Tobago. So that's partly around green energy and supporting sometimes the kind of boring sides of green energy. So what does the legislation look like that's needed to get green energy onto the grid in Trinidad and Tobago? What are the opportunities for wind energy? That's at quite an early stage, but we've brought across a wind energy expert, Dr. Alan Loudon, to look and to advise on this is where you can start measuring wind strength, for example, and this is how you could start to build a wind energy industry. Energy efficiency, we've talked a little bit about that already. That's another really important part about trying to reduce emissions and to protect communities from the impacts of climate. So whether that's flooding, whether it's hurricane preparedness. I know that the Hurricane Beryl came pretty close to Tobago this year, and we were very lucky that it just skirted the edges. But in my 4 years here, that red alert for Tobago was the closest that I've seen, and I suspect that is it's a warning about climate change and the fact that weather patterns are changing. So adaptation, protection, and emissions reductions are another pillar of what we do. And then more broadly, it's about youth development and education. So looking at scholarships for people who are doing masters or PhDs, but also engaging with children. So in Trinidad, we recently did a project on judo, and that was about teaching young people about discipline, about controlling violent urges and actually channeling them into something that's really, really positive. And we hope, again, we're going to apply for some funding from the UK to run a similar project in Tobago in the next year. So fingers crossed on that one, because it was a brilliant project. So that's a bit of a flavour of the things that we're interested in and that we want to move forward. I guess I'd just say a final thing is that we have a team in the High Commission in Port of Spain who is our so-called consular team, and they're looking after British citizens who are in Trinidad and Tobago. They're dealing with crises, deaths, any crime that befalls British citizens, but actually they're also doing prevention work. So one good example is that my team had a really interesting session and training course about sexual violence and how the police can best deal with victims of sexual violence so that they get the best possible treatment and the best possible engagement at that point when they are very vulnerable. So of course that supports British citizens, but it also supports the communities of Tobago as well, who are also suffering from some of these challenges. So that's a little bit of an overview of where our interests lie and the sort of work that we're doing in Tobago.
Excellent. And I know you spoke about the fact that you also fund a number of PhD and master's projects that are particularly focused towards climate change and climate resilience. I know that there is the Chevening Scholarship. So does it have to be channeled through this Chevening Scholarship? Or if someone has a PhD proposal that aligns with the agenda of the British High Commission, they can maybe send a proposal to you for funding?
No, it would have to be through the Chevening Scholarship. That's the track for getting that funding. There are Commonwealth scholarships as well, which are run through the Commonwealth Secretariat, and citizens of Trinidad and Tobago can also apply for those scholarships. So that's another channel. And then finally, I'd say there are Rhodes Scholars, which is a scholarship scheme from Oxford University. Again, Tobagonians are applicable to that. So there are at least 3 scholarship schemes that will support students to go to the UK. Frankly, I think the Chevening Scholarship is probably the one that's the best of the 3. Maybe I say that because that's administered by us in the British High Commission Port of Spain. But we've had some really brilliant scholars from that, including Tobagonians. We had somebody who studied tourism studies and is now back in Tobago and is working to implement some of the things that she learned during that training. And we're also looking to work with the private sector to see if we can increase the number of Chevening scholarships that we give. So, for example, there might be a private sector company that says, yeah, we'll fund a scholarship that's only for people who want to do environmental studies, or who if they're a tourism company, they might say, actually, we want to fund people to do tourism. So I'd love to think that in the next year or 2, there will be more Chevening scholarships available because we've got that public-private sector partnership, and that's what we're working on at the moment. So if there are any private companies listening who think, yeah, I think we would like to be involved in that, please do get in touch with the British High Commission in Port of Spain, because we'd love to talk to you about that.
Excellent. And as we wrap up our discussion this morning, is there anything that you want to tell the persons before we go, and how, again, reiterating how they can get into contact with the British High Commission?
Yes, so you can get in touch with us through UK in Caribbean, and that's all one word, and that's our social media tag, I guess, for Instagram, Twitter, X, and Facebook. So please do get in touch. I've got a team who sit behind that social media who will read all the messages that come in. And if you give them a way to get in touch with you, they will get in touch and talk to you about your ideas. And I guess a message is thank you. You've given me some really happy memories. You are one of, if not the best little island in the world, and you've really given me a lot of joy in the last 4 years. It will, in fact, I'm coming to Tobago this week, so I won't say this weekend was the last time. I'm coming to see the Chief Secretary, to bid farewell to him, and to see our Honorary Consul James Morshead. So I will be back one more time, but I will be back many more times in future, purely as a visitor, purely as a tourist, because I need to sit there at Englishman's Bay and watch the pelicans dive into the water, and see the colour and the energy of Tobago. So thanks to everybody who has created that beautiful, absolutely one-off. There's nowhere like Tobago anywhere else in the world, and you should be very proud. And I've been very grateful to to have been part of it for a few years. So thank you.
Right. Excellent. And we want you to know that you are always welcome here to Tobago. We want to thank you for your time and your service that you have given to Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, the British High Commission. And we want to wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And from me personally, I want to thank you for all the work that you have done with youth, because I know that you have had the young people in a special place in your heart. You've always made the High Commission available for us to come in. I remember coming and have a strategic session there with my team at Youth Votes Matter. We came and did our strategic plan at the High Commission, and you came downstairs and you greeted us, and we had such a great time. So you have been there on the ground, being very aware of what's happening with the youth. And again, I just want to say thank you for your service and your time, and for remaining so down to earth and approachable. So, and also making the High Commission open and available for us if we needed it. So again, we want to thank you and hope that you have a great day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all of that, and more of it to come, I know. Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we're going to be back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a...
This Christmas, believe in magic. Enjoy our comforting deals on furniture that'll leave your loved ones in awe. Only at Standard.
The future of farming is here. The Tobago Agri-Tech Summit 2024 is happening December 1st to 3rd at the Shaw Park Complex. With climate change reshaping our agriculture, it's time to adapt. Discover the latest in farming and fishing technologies, sustainable practices, and innovative solutions. Get inspired by industry leaders, cutting-edge tools, and hands-on experiences. Tickets and more info at tags.gov.tt or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Tobago Agri-Tech.
This Christmas, believe in magic. Enjoy our delicious deals on appliances for the perfect Christmas together. Only at Standard.
Unwrap the magic of Christmas and have the best Christmas ever with a Christmas Wishes loan from Bethel Credit Union.
Up to $20,000 can be yours, so you can take care of all those Christmas expenses. You could even pay off all your debts and your credit card.
Come on down to where we make wishes come through, because we see you
at BCU.
Visit any of our offices today at 31 Bethlehem Road, Bethel, Tobago, or Mount Mary, Lower Scarborough, Tobago.
You can contact us at 639-8226-660-7358 or 631-1336.
Normal lending criteria apply. Think, plan, save with Bethel Credit Union.
Because we see you at BCU. We see you at BCU. Come on down, get a loan or two, cause we see you this Christmas at BCU.
It's the season of unforgettable, magical moments together. A song that reminds us of how our love blossomed. The warm, comforting smell of Christmas Day that brings us together. That feeling of comfort when our loved ones see the magic happening before their eyes. This Christmas, believe in magic. Only at Standard. It's the season of unforgettable, magical moments together. A song that reminds us of how our love blossomed. The warm, comforting smell of Christmas Day that brings us together. That feeling of comfort when our loved ones see the magic happening before their eyes. This Christmas, believe in magic, only at Standard.
Thinking about spending Christmas in Tobago? Well, call us at Thorns Place. We are located at the hills of Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port, with rooms starting at 200 TT. Call us now at 745-7306 or 682-8676. Follow us on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Message us on WhatsApp at Thorns Place. Your Christmas in Tobago will be even more special.
Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now, you know, I promised you an interesting morning show. Before the break, we had Her Excellency Harriet Cross, the British High Commissioner to Trinidad and Tobago, and we bid her farewell on her way out as she has given Trinidad and Tobago a wonderful 4 years of service, and we want to say thank you to her again. And now, as we continue continue this morning's discussion, we have the privilege of sitting in studio with the Minister of Sport and Community Development, as well as the MP for Tobago West, the Honorable Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel. Good morning, Tobago, the entire listening public. Thank you for having me.
Well, we are always excited to have you here on Tobago Updates whenever we can catch you, because we know that you're always running back and forth between the islands. Now, one of the key topics of discussion that has been on the table is this Tobago Autonomy Bill and the work that needs to be done in unity to make sure that this bill is passed. Now, we know that the People's National Movement has launched a campaign to gain support from Tobagonians for that bill, with a number of initiatives and events happening throughout the island to raise awareness. But one of the key elements of ensuring that this bill goes to Parliament and is successful is ensuring that there's unity in terms of the input for amendments on this bill. How important do you think it is to have those cross-political conversations or unified political discussions with all members of that political sphere in Tobago?
I sit in a very interesting seat as a member also of the Joint Select Committee. I've served on both Joint Select Committees from 2018 all the way to 2021. And it's interesting to note that throughout the entire journey, this thing has been cross-political. As you know, it was Ashworth Jack as minority leader who brought the motion to the Tobago House of Assembly. He was in the minority position, and Orville London in his capacity as Chief Secretary along with his PNM team agreed. And so it has been a cause that has been championed across political lines over the years. For those of us who would remember Mr. Ho Choi Charles getting on board the Tobago platform of parties, and as a member of the Joint Select Committee, we called in members of the Tobago platform of political parties. So I think every step along the way, anybody who wanted to contribute to this has been able to contribute. The thing is, this has been about a 20-year journey in most recent times, and it's time to bring it to a vote. It's time to come to a conclusion, or else the thing begins to lose essence and lose substance, and people are tired of having the same conversation over and over again. And not just that, as a responsible parliament, it would be only right that you bring the matter to a vote so that you get to save the work, use the work, make the best use of the research that has been done over the years, get the support of the parliamentarians in the House who have been part and parcel of the process over the years. Because as much as we as Tobagonians say that we want this and we want that, all well and good, law, it requires a change in law. And the only way laws can be changed is through the parliament. And we're not talking to ourselves alone in the parliament. We have to convince at least another 9 votes or another 9 seats across the floor. So, yes, having as much consensus on the matter is important. I think that we have tried over the years in all ways and means with so many different people and parties over the years, and we're at the point where it's time to try to make good on all that has been accomplished in research, in guidance from the legal luminaries, persons from the United Nations, and so on. So we look forward to that.
Right. And side note, do you think the UNCBT might be what offers the support for this bill?
I think it all boils down to the day. There has been differing views over the last couple of weeks. Very early, there's a member of the B team that said, no, they're not going to support. Personally, I don't think the UNC wants Tobago to have this. I don't think so. But at the end of the day, it boils down to the votes on the day. I would not be surprised if they don't support. But I think what is most important, I'm not too worried about the UNC. It's all about Tobagonians speaking with one voice and trying to make a giant leap in this journey that has been going on for so long. We have to honor the works that were done over the years by young Tobagonians, older Tobagonians, those who have passed, and under the works of not only the parliamentarians, but the staff of the parliament. I saw them working day and night over the years because they felt like they were doing something good for the country and for Tobago. I think this is the only time in our history that we have had that kind of unison or consensus, or everybody pretty much agreeing to where we want to go with this. The other efforts didn't come all the way through in the past, and I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's certainly a huge leap and a far cry from what we have now. So it's not, I hear people saying, they want us to take little and live long. Nobody says that. We don't want you to keep little and live long either, because what we have before us at the parliament, before the committee of the whole, is so much better than what we have now, Act 40 of 1996. So you can't be telling the people, don't take this improved legislation and keep the little that you have that we already proved not doing too much for us,
Right. But is it not dangerous to say to Tobagonians, let's take this as a step in the right direction, as opposed to truly getting what Tobago deserves after so long of advocating for this Tobago autonomy situation? As you indicated, it has been a long, tedious fight to get Tobago to a place where we have something that at least there's a middle ground on.
I think that there's more than a middle ground here, because if we are really reading the documents, because there are a lot of people out there making comments who haven't read the documents or haven't consulted the research or even asked a question. They just heard their political party saying X, Y, or Z, and they jump on the campaign trail. But at the end of the day, we have to recognize that if we could have passed this thing in Tobago, we would have done so. But of course, you have to engage the parliament. And so it's about taking the parliament as far as these 41 persons will take you. There is no question as to the support from the PNM members in the government, but we don't have enough to carry it over. So of course, that's why it went to a joint select committee of the members of the government, the opposition, independent, so they can weigh in. And not just that, we were saying many different things in the document that we sent. In one voice, we are saying that we want to remain a part of the unitary state, but yet in the document included some terms that you use only when you're a sovereign state or if you're breaking away. When we did the consultations, we said, yes, federalism is something we can see in the future, but this is not what we're debating right now, or we feel like we have to build our economy some more before we get to that place of federalism. So to take that to the parliament, say you want X, and then when we're at this point now to vote, you're shifting the goalpost and say, well, we want federalism. Well, did you have the conversation with the nation about federalism? Do you have the research? What were your position? Because that was not presented to the parliament. That you wanted secession, that was not presented to the parliament. Neither did you present federalism. So if the chief secretary and the team in the Tobago House of Assembly are now saying that Tobagonians have changed their mind and they now want federalism, then where is the consultation? Where is the research? What are you giving the parliament to consider? Because we considered what you gave to us. And I'm pleased to say that as a member of the Joint Select Committee over the years, every single comment that was submitted to the JSC was ventilated, considered, you engaged legal luminaries, engaged United Nations, every single point, even from a layman that would say, okay, I think this or I think that. If you check the 749-page document that has been on the parliamentary website for over 3 years, you would see it all there, every single comment that you can possibly raise that was submitted.
All right. And when you look at the document in its entirety and everything that Tobagonians are being offered with this, is there one element of it that you personally are not comfortable with?
You see, being a part of the process puts you in a different position. When we had submitted this thing to central government, I was a part of the thing saying, Yes, we want equality of status and all that kind of thing. It sounds good, yeah. But you can't say that and then say we want to remain a unitary state. So when you say equality of status, what are you taking and let's say you want to challenge that and you want to go to court. Name something that you're going to raise that says we are not equal in status. So when we consulted the legal luminaries,
one of the things would be that budgetary allocation every
right,
year.
So
you don't feel equal when that happens every year.
You see, you don't feel equal to the other 39 constituencies. You understand what I'm saying? So if you are vying for internal self-government, you're remaining a part of the Trinidad and Tobago, then you are one state. You're one state. You have to remember we are not separate states. We are one country, and there is no other piece of law anywhere or constitution anywhere for a place that is one country where you're saying we want equality of status. So what we were guided to do at the Joint Select Committee, and all the documents and the guidelines and the instructions, or should I say the directions, are here in the document where we're told it's about equality of opportunity and equal access to opportunity and so on for every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. You can't be part of the same state, the same one state, and say you want equality of status of the same one state. You're one state in the same, you know. So that's the advice.
But then there has been the recommendation coming out of the Division of Finance for the increased allocation for Tobago, and the justification being that Tobago's population size has increased, and so if we are using the population size as a justification, then I believe it was only $1 per citizen that was being requested by the Chief Technical Advisor, Mr. Anselm Richards.
Well, when you look at it, you see, we have to look at it as the whole. We requested 8%, whilst and I was part of the team that requested the 8%, and I was on the Joint Select Committee vying for 8% too. Yes, but you have to then engage the persons from Ministry of Finance. We engage persons from United Nations, experts in fiscal federalism and that type of thing. And we ended up at 6.8%. But when we're speaking about 6.8%, we are also forgetting to mention that each year Tobago can ask for beyond the 6.8% through the Fiscal Review Commission, which we did not have before. So, we are calling it Fiscal Review Commission. The Chief Secretary submitted a document calling it Economic Review Commission. At the end of the day, it's the same thing pretty much. And the Fiscal Review Commission allow us to present our case, saying this, we need more, this is what we need it for, and so on. Yeah.
How long would that process take? Because I have heard that with the allocation that was given even this year, that was deemed to be, unsatisfactory. They could have gone and, taken it before the Dispute Resolution Committee, but the process would have been too long.
No, but how do you take it before the resolution, the DRC, when the DRC gives 4.03% to 6.9%, right?
Yeah.
And I think the allocation this year is more than 4.0. Not I think, I know it's more than 4.03%. I think it's about 4.3% or somewhere thereabouts. So what would be your case before the DRC? And not just that, we have to also remember that there are also different items like the airport and so on that's not counted in the Tobago House of Assembly allocation. Money spent on so many other developments taking place in Tobago, grants and so on through the many different ministries. All of that is not a part of the Tobago House of Assembly allocation. It's still covered by central government. Pension to senior citizens, social services, grants for agri, grants for business, payments of persons like the police, prisons, fire. All of that is coming from central government still. So it's interesting to hear Tobagonians talk about this punishing of Tobago, not taking into account that there are so many other areas of development. And of course, yes, we want more. I want more in Ministry of Sport and Community Development. My budget was cut too in Ministry of Sport and Community Development. But we have to be realistic about what's going on in our economy. And yes, the Tobago House of Assembly got the highest budget that it has gotten in all its years. And I hear them talking about, well, the amount for development is lower. But in the Tobago House of Assembly, you can shift your money any ways you want to. You can shift from recurrent to development and so on. So we don't have that liberty. I don't have that liberty. You know, at the end of the day, it's about doing the very best you can with what you have, and being honest and accountable to the people, because I think sometimes we are not being honest. For instance, I've been following the Scarborough Sec debate, and they only give us $500,000 for Scarborough Sec. Now we know for the building of any school or any infrastructure that size, you'll be going, of course, as a government, will be going to the IDF, to the Infrastructural Development Fund. That would not appear in the consolidated fund. What we give to you for budget is coming out of the consolidated fund. And therefore, to build a Scarborough Sec or a piece of infrastructure of that nature, we said we'll be going to the IDB or going for international financing. In order to do so, the Tobago House of Assembly has to submit the necessary documentation to the Ministry of Finance and so on, so that they can present their case to the IDB for the loan. The question is, has the Tobago House of Assembly done that? Can they show us that they've done that? The $500,000, like for instance, I have a similar project in Trinidad, not a school though, where we want to do a development in Point 40 in a community project. And the allocation for the first year would be like $500,000 or $1 million. We know, of course, that would not be enough, but you're looking at grant financing. The $500,000 is so that you can scope towards presenting your plan or so on to the IDB. So this lie or this untruth, this misleading of the public, if I dare say it in a better way, it's not fair. It is dishonest. And the Tobago House of Assembly needs to come clean. I mean,
I think the confusion happens when the Minister for Finance pledges, I believe it was about $5 million.
Sure, but in order to do so, he has to go to the IDF. Has the THA done its part? And could the THA show us where the Minister of Finance pledged $5 million? We're doing a lot of things, or coming out and say we have.
I remember he did have he publicly said that he would be paying for.
Show us where. But if it's in the IDF, you know, to do IDF to get loan financing, you have to present your documents. I do have the text message here where we learned about the Scarborough Sec projects and the details of the Scarborough Sec projects on the social media. The sudturning, the ministers, the MPs were not invited, but then you tell them, oh, you have to go and plead our cause, and we have no clue. On the day when the sudturning was taking place, we looked at it, so then we said, Nian, do you know anything about this? Dr. Dolly reached out, Minister of Education reached out to Secretary Hackett. I have a copy of the message here saying, hey, what's this going on? No response. So I wonder are we truly about development for Tobago, or are we about making a bacchanal to be given the impression that Tobago is not treated well? And so it makes good politics, but it takes us nowhere as it relates to Tobago's development.
All right. But do you understand how it can be misleading when you pledge $5 million and then you come in the budget and then you give 500,000?
But we know what 500, if we're saying, and that still does not take $5 million, if such a pledge was made, right? It still does not take from that, because if you're given $500,000 towards getting what you need from the IDF, it cannot possibly be a consolidated fund.
I have no.
Then we have to make Tobagonians aware, and I think all Tobago House of Assembly have a duty to show to Tobagonians, this is the document that I sent to the Minister of Finance on X date. This is what I said, and then this is what he said. Right. But to be standing up and making these spurious comments that you had a verbal promise and so on, we know that's not the way it works, because at the end of the day, we need to see it in black and white to know that it has actually happened, or else it becomes a battle of words and different persons calling each other liars. You know what I mean? I think Tobagonians deserve more than that. Yeah.
But from your perspective, do you think that the Scarborough Sec project should be funded by the central government?
I think the Scarborough Sec project should be funded by the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago, and whatever arrangement the House of Assembly and Minister of Finance comes up with, we can't be here assuming and presuming. Let's present the documents and let's see what's the best way to make it happen.
Understood. But we're going to take a quick break right here, and we're going to be back with lots more on this conversation. So see you soon.
New dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor.
Unwrap the magic of Christmas and have the best Christmas ever with a Christmas Wishes loan from Bethel Credit Union.
Up to 20,000 can be yours, so you can take care of all those Christmas expenses. You could even pay off all your debts and your credit card.
Come on down to where we make wishes come through, because we see you
at BCU.
Visit any of our offices today at 31 Bethlehem Road, Bethel, Tobago, or Mount Mary Lower, Scarborough, Tobago.
You can contact us at 639-8226-660-7358 or 631-1336.
Normal lending criteria apply. Think, plan, save with Bethel Credit Union.
Because we see you at BCU. We see you at BCU. Come on down, get a loan or two, cause we see you this Christmas at BCU.
Please be advised that the date and venue for the Tobago Day Thanksgiving service have been changed to Thursday, December 19th at the Shore Park Complex. Start time 9 a.m. Come give thanks with us as we continue our Tobago Day celebration.
It's the season of unforgettable, magical moments together. A song that reminds us of how our love blossomed. The warm, comforting smell of Christmas Day that brings us together. That feeling of comfort when our loved ones see the magic happening before their eyes. This Christmas, believe in magic, only at Standard.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now, as I indicated this morning, we have some really interesting conversation, and as we continue our conversation, we are chatting with the Honorable Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis, Minister of Sport and Community Development, as well as the MP for Tobago West. Now, before we went off to the break, we were chatting a bit on a number of projects happening in the Tobago space, talking a little bit about funding from the central government. And before we got into that, we were talking about the Tobago Autonomy Bill. What does that mean for Tobago economically, financially, and when it comes to making laws here in Tobago for Tobago? But we're going to shift gears a bit because we don't have much time this morning and there's so much that we can actually chat about. But the bell, we know it's about to ring. You know, when you start anticipating that it's about to be launched, you haven't heard the bell ringing yet, but you know, you start looking at the clock because it's about to be launched soon. Mm-hmm. So in that same vein, we know that the election bell is about to be rung very, very, very soon. And we heard that you said publicly that you are going to be putting yourself back up for office, for consideration. So does that mean that you also have to go through the same screening process as everyone else again?
Yes, the party has its screening process. So it's about the party groups supporting you and you going and facing the interviewers and so on. So I'm hopeful. We see where it goes.
Right.
Yeah?
So are there other persons that you know of that has put their name forth or
for Tobago West?
For Tobago West that are also looking to compete for?
Not to my knowledge. And I try not to be distracted by that. On the day, whoever shows up for interviews, I wish them the very best. It's always good to know that you have persons who have the desire to change Tobago and to do good for Trinidad and Tobago. At the end of the day, somebody must win, and we jump on board and do the work that's necessary to bring Tobago and the nation to where we want to see it.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 consecutive terms.
This would be a third term once contested and won.
Okay, so this would be 3. Well, you were in opposition before.
I entered Parliament as an opposition senator.
Right.
That was the year the PNM lost terribly to the People's Partnership. I started in opposition.
So you have served in the Parliament for about 3 terms so
I've
far.
served in Parliament
Right,
for
but as a
roughly
minister,
3
it would
terms.
have been
Yeah.
2,
2 terms,
right?
yeah.
So that's 3 terms in Parliament and a 4th one if successful in the upcoming election. Now, what are some of the things that you felt like within those 3 terms you weren't able to achieve that this 4th term is going to do it for you?
I think I don't like to count the first term, because when you're in opposition, as they say, in opposition, you have your say while the government has its way. In the opposition, you can talk and talk and talk and talk, but there's not much that you can do. So in the opposition was primarily being a voice for the people and saying what you would like. But then when you're in government, it's about delivering on your promises. And I've served in the capacity as Minister of Tourism from 2015 to 2018. During that time, we restored to Tobago I shouldn't say restored, we granted to Tobago for the first time access to the tourism room upgrade program, because when I went there, I recognized that Tobago businesses were not accessing that. It was only given to Trinidad, where we assist hoteliers and so on with up to 50% of their cost to upgrade their spaces. I saw as Minister of Tourism that Tobago was not treated fairly in the TDC as it relates to Tourism Developed Company, and I helped to do the research, bring in a researcher and consultants and so on, so that Tobago can have its own marketing entity. Hence the reason we have THTI today, and Trinidad could have its own marketing entity, giving us the opportunity to take Tobago to where we want to go without the obstruction of having to go through the TDC. We speak to tourism clubs in schools. Some people don't remember, some people don't know that came under my watch. Tobago having its own seat at the Caribbean Tourism Organization, that also was from under my watch. States a Getaway and giving support to local tourism here in Tobago. It was also during that first term that we restored Tobagonians getting access to self-help, because in 2013, when the UNC and the TOP lost the Tobago House of Assembly election, Tobago was cut off from self-help. So it was about restoring those services back to Tobago, ensuring that for grants and so on, even in areas that are under the watch of the Tobago House of Assembly, that Tobagonians can also access through central government grants for agriculture, grants for home development, and so on. It's under this term also we did the where we now have our own boats, the ferries, because before we leased and we had much more problems in the inter-island transport than we do now. We tried the sandals thing, it didn't work, but it's all about development for Tobago and developing Tobagonians in a developing Tobago. In my capacity as Minister of Youth, we brought programs like 40 Under 40, because I am very, very serious about people development. It's one thing to build buildings. As you know, infrastructure development in Tobago is primarily under the Tobago House of Assembly. So it would be developing programs and making sure Tobagonians have access to programs so that they can grow. As Minister of Sport, of course, we have national programs like Shaping Communities, April Pools that we do in collaboration with the Tobago House of Assembly, sport camps, grants and financial support and so on to individual athletes, community groups, and so on. Of course, we have done some work as it relates to the refurbishment of the Dwight York Stadium. We've seen the Hillsborough Dam the work done at Hillsborough Dam that was promised over 30 years since I was a school child. We've seen pipeline projects through Wassa. We've lit some places for the first time, like Big Stick Gully, and we improved their lighting. And then to, I think it's Pigot Trace in Canby, we gave them lights for the first time, street lights for the first time. So the list goes on and on and on and on. But at the end of the day, it's about giving hope and giving opportunities to Tobagoanians, and we intend to continue in that vein.
Right. And prior to this election, you were Shamfa Cudjoe. Now you are Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis. So
Yes.
that means that a new family
Yes.
has entered into the equation, and we know how, you know, the political scene is here in Tobago, in Trinidad and Tobago. Oftentimes it's quite traumatic for the families involved. And well, we can see that the Cudjoe family are senior in the game now. You know, they have understood the mission. They know what it takes. They understand the impact that it might have on you as well as the family, and how persons are often targeted in your family because you are putting yourself up for political office, especially when it's election time. Have you had that conversation with the new family? Do you think that they are prepared for what really comes with elections?
I think my husband knows what he signed up for. I think he understands me, and we try to run our thing to the best of our ability, where it's about us, and don't get carried away by the lights and all the other stuff. There are people who say the nastiest things about me. When my husband and when people come to tell me some of the things they hear about me, we laugh. When my mother come home and tell me some of the things she heard, when I hear some of the things people say about me, I say, thank God that God still reigns in the heaven, and he's responsible for everything. If it was up to man, the kind of things that would have happened to me, I wouldn't still be sitting here with you. So I've gotten accustomed to the nasty things said, but and even nasty things done and hoped for. But I believe in God, and I believe in what he has done on my life and what he still has to do for me. The world is a circle, and what you wish for others, life has a funny way of bringing it right back to your doorstep. So I try not to pay attention, because at the end of the day, you're busy talking about me and saying dirty things about me. You had children, you had grandchildren, you have brothers, you have sisters. I've heard things about my family members, brothers, sisters. I've seen somebody circulating, holding a picture that they plan to use at election time and all that kind of thing. I try not to get swayed or distracted by that, because I know the truth, God knows the truth, and at the end of the day, God is still in the heavens. I believe it so strongly, so none of that thing
and having
shakes
that
me.
conversation with the extended family, his family and everybody, having that discussion on a whole, how important is that for you as you build your support system around you during such a time?
I think choosing the right person is important. And I know I've married a man and not a boy. And he stands for me. He guides, he directs, he protects. I know he's in my corner. So no matter what I hear out there, or sometimes you go out there and you face the world with so much madness, and I go home and he's a place of comfort and peace and strength and security and prayers, you know. So I know I have a good man. So at the end of the day, I think my family, it's, to be honest with you too, sometimes it could get really sickening, and they didn't sign up for that, you know. They didn't sign up for that, but they have to go through that. And by some of the things that other people have access to, just because I'm a politician, they cannot access it because you're Shamfa Cudjoe brother, or you're Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis sister, or, you know, and it's unfair. But at the end of the day, it's just the type of business that politics is. Of course, we grew up Rasta primarily, so we didn't grow up in politics. This is my choice. When I became of age, I took this decision to enter politics. It's unfortunate that my siblings have to go through some of what they go through, but it's all for the greater good. And I believe that what we're doing is for the greater good of Tobago and the country. And in the end, as Jaron will say, Jesus would provide.
Right. And even as you go towards this election, do you think this is your final go at it as you focus on family, or would we see, is this the beginning of what Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis has to offer Tobago?
At the end of the day, it's about service to people. And I think how long I'm going to remain in this, it's not so much my call, it's more so the people's call, because it's the people who have to vote you, not even the PNM's call, but the wider public. And if the people ask me to run and to represent them, I will do so. And as it relates to working for the development of Tobago, as long as that remains on the forefront of the PNM, I would continue to do so. I strongly believe in the work that we are doing. And once the people ask me to represent them and I'm in good health and my husband is all right with it, and I have the freedom to. Now, if if my family expands,
right,
then you have to think on it. But for the most part, it's all about offering myself. It's about service. And the people know who they want and what they want. And I trust them and their wisdom. And once they ask me and I'm able to, I'll offer myself.
What do you think is the mission, the vision going into this other term, if you are successful, that is different from what you have offered in your history of being the MP for Tobago West?
I think that my brand is solid. I think that it is consistent, and it's all about people development. I speak to people about empowerment, and I encourage people to set yourself up in such a way and make use of the opportunities before you in such a way so that it doesn't matter if PNM win or UNC win or whatever, that you can stand on your own. And that's what it's about. Somebody come to me asking for morning work. I try to direct them as to how they could develop their own business, how they could register their business and so on. Because I think Tobagonians have so much talent and we depend too much on the government could do this. Or, when I say Tobagonians, I mean individuals. You must look at yourself and what God has put you here to do first and pursue those goals relentlessly, no matter who's in power. It's about empowerment. It's also about rebuilding trust in the system. I want to encourage young people to read and research, because we are going to be a thing of the past very soon. I'm 42. I remember just the other day I was the youth. Now I'm far from that. And these youngsters who are coming up, they have to desire that passion to read and to research and to have a position and to dream big. So for me, it's about that kind of empowerment and creating opportunity for Tobagonians. So that's what it's all about for me, continuing in the work, developing Tobago, internal self-government, of course. And it's interesting that when you talk to people sort of got tired of the conversation. They feel like it's a political thing, but it's about keeping that hope alive and taking Tobago from stage to stage, because much of what we're doing now, yes, it would redound to our benefit, but it's more so for those young ones who are coming up with the big ideas and the crazy dreams and the crazy visions as to what they want to see for Tobago and for the country.
Right. Yeah. I want to thank you so much for your time this morning. We want to thank you for making it a point to come and discuss with Tobagonians on a number of the topics that we discussed this morning. I want to thank our audience for staying with us this morning. I want to thank you guys for your likes, your shares, and your comments. And we want to encourage you to continue doing all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, we say thank you to Her Excellency Harriet Cross, who is the British High Commissioner, for coming in this morning. And, we bid her farewell. And again, we want to say thank you to the MP for Tobago West, the Honorable Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis, for being here this morning, guys. Have a great day.
Number one.